What's going on YouTube? This is MetallicAerox here with MetallicAerox YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be going over a Red Eyes Black Dragon deck profile that I've actually been playing for quite some time, and this is pretty much a pure budget build, more or less. There are pretty much two copies of the structure deck, but you know what? It's still a pretty good deck for as cheap as it is. Again, this is very pure. Unfortunately, I don't have access to Red Eyes Gear, Gear Free, the Red Eyes Knight, or Red Eyes with Chain, or all those like other additional cards, so this deck is definitely subject to change, but that's like the cool thing about Duel Links and like deck profiles and stuff like this. It's always like an ongoing progression. Like it gets better as it goes on when I get access to more cards. So for now, I just want to talk about the deck, the way I see it, how I play it, and just basically some really cool combos. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I have a lot of plans for some awesome content, and I would love for you to be there the entire ride. Let's get into it. So again, this is kind of a kind of conventional, but also kind of not conventional, just because it has some of my playstyles to be in mind. So, one copy of Red Eyes Wyvern. I really like Wyvern in the deck. One, it's a good set after you use your Red Eyes Fusion plays because its defense is not too bad. The second part that I love about Red Eyes Wyvern, it's a great out for using Red Eyes Insight and get it into your graveyard as soon as possible. Because when he's in your graveyard, if you did not normal summon or set a monster this turn, which happens quite often, considering we have Red Eyes Fusion and Red Eyes Spirit and Return of the Red Eyes, if he's in the graveyard, you can banish him, special summon a Red Eyes monster from your graveyard. It's really nice because it's a Red Eyes monster, so if they get rid of your Slash Dragon, he can be brought back this way too. So Wyvern is pretty good at one. I only have one copy of Black Metal Dragon, but I really do like it. This card is super good. It helps make your Red Eyes Slash Dragon a little bit more offensively progressive, especially with having a higher attack. It can be a great tool for negation, especially if you send it to the graveyard using Slash Dragon's effect. And also, when it gets sent to the graveyard from the field, you can add one Red Eyes card from your deck. That is fantastic. It searches out almost everything in the deck, and it's just really nice. Playing one Keep of the Dragon Magic. Now, Keep of the Dragon Magic is usually a fantastic card. Don't get me wrong. I'm only playing one because that's really all you need. We play two copies of Red Eyes Fusion. We have Red Eyes Fusion, the skill equipped as well. We also have the 3 Red Eyes Insight. So honestly, we see Red Eyes Fusion insanely consistently. So there's really no point in having too many Fusion search outlets. But it is nice for a one-off because you can normal summon him, use his effect, pitch Red Eyes Black Dragon, search out either search your Red Eyes Fusion, go for that. It can help set up your graveyard, plus summoning a Red Eyes from the graveyard and face down defensive position. Not a bad time at all. Not a bad time at all. Playing one copy of the Blackstone Legend. Now, honestly, one copy of this card is fine. You can probably play it at 2 and be fine. I really like the effect you can normal summon Tribute for a Red Eyes Black Dragon. And also, like, the better thing about it, when it's in the graveyard, you can shuffle this card back into the... you can shuffle a Red Eyes Black Dragon or a Red Eyes monster from your graveyard back to the deck, add this card to your hand. So, it's like a nice recycling engine for your deck as well. The next, we're playing 2 copies of AD Changer for the Warrior target for Red Eyes Fusion. Now, so the thing is, I would often go back and forth with different copies and different warriors. Like, for a while, I would use Elemental Hero Neos because he has synergy with Return of the Red Eyes. I was also just using some other vanilla monsters that have like 2000 attack. It just didn't really work out. I really like the fact that AD Changer, you can use this effect to banish him from your graveyard, then target one monster on the field that changes battle position. So this is great, just because if we come across a situation where we can go for game, fantastic, do it. However, there also could be the opportunity where your opponent might have a monster that might just be too much for us to get over, like, via attack battle phase. This could be great because it can often get them in defense mode, and that could be enough to turn the tide into our favorite and help start collecting more board presence. Plus, in all fairness, it can actually be a pretty good baiting card too, to like kind of like force your opponent to do certain plays, so you can be able to go off with your own plays just fine. I'm playing 3 copies of Red Eyes. So far, 3 hasn't been too bad. I've been going back and forth between 3 and 2. Honestly, 2, it is nice not having to worry about having so many bricks in your hand. However, I decided to go with a 3rd copy just because there were at times where it was really nice having 3. So I've been playing with 3. I haven't had too many problems with it, especially with all the send outlets like Red Eyes Fusion, Red Eyes Insight, and also Blackstone. So it's not in the deck for too long, having too many copies anyway. I'm playing 1 copy of Cosmic Cyclone. Really easy way to be able to get rid of problem cards like Power of the Guardian, things like that of that nature, annoying field spells, dark magical circles. Just having the ability to bang 1,000 life points to be able to get rid of something insane, it's great. There are times where you may want to use your life points as a resource, and I honestly would not mind bumping this card up to 2, but I don't have a 2nd copy, so I had to play Scrub. 2 Red Ice Fusion, one of the best cards in the deck. Basically, Shaddoll Fusion, if you guys know what Shaddolls are. But for Red Ice, send monsters from your hand, deck, or field to the graveyard. But you cannot special summon or normal summon after you use this card. So, it kind of locks you out in that regard, but you can still set monsters, which is pretty decent. Why we kind of talk about Red Ice Wyvern and also Black Metal Dragon evenly as well. 3 copies of Red Ice Insight, one of the best cards in the deck, just because it sets up your graveyard really well and it gives you access to your Red Ice Fusion. What more can you want? It's also really nice too, because if you end up drawing into Red Ice Fusion, if you want, you can even go get a second copy of Red Ice Fusion, or even just grab Return of the Red Eyes. Because if you do turn 1 Red Ice Fusion, then set this card, it's going to set you up really well, because like what you could do, like to have 3 Red Ice on turn 3 before your main phase, use Red Ice Fusion, use Return of the Red Ice Insight, send Red Eyes, grab Red Ice Fusion, use Red Ice Fusion, send another Red Eyes, plus AD Changer, special summon / Dragon, and then during your opponent's phase, or then off of Red Ice Insight, you get your search, you're going to use Return of the Red Eyes, and then you could just start using this. So yeah, if you open up with a Red Ice Fusion and a Red Ice Insight, you can easily have a lot of fun using Return of the Red Eyes, especially during your opponent's phase and also your phase too. We also have Power of the Guardian. Again, this is just a really good card because there are going to be at times where we might have problem getting over certain attack threats. This can easily just help that out for sure. And also one of the cool things as well is it does actually have some pretty good synergy when it comes to Red Ice / Dragon. So if it comes down to it where you have to negate something that's targeting / Dragon, you can pitch one of the Power of the Guardians to just be good to go. Like, again, Red Ice / Dragon just kind of like holds the deck good together due to Red Ice Fusion and everything else. I'm playing 2 copies of Drowning Mirror Force because I can't get enough of this card. I really like this card. It's super great just because it does a great job of resetting the board presence. Like, if your opponent is going really off and going really hard, if you have no board presence, they go for direct attack, you can use Drowning Mirror Force, and it just resets the game balance so nobody has any monsters on board. And again, we have cards like Red Ice Spirit, Red Ice Fusion, just to add a ton amount of pressure on the board, even when they don't have anything. So it's really nice. Run Red Ice Spirit, it's just really nice being able to get Red Ices from the graveyard onto the field, whether it be / Dragon or even Red Ice Black Dragon to go for a fusion play, in case it's in the late game and you have no more in the deck to go with. We also do play Return of the Red Eyes, another fantastic card. Again, I kind of mentioned it earlier, but I kind of butchered it. If you open up with a Red Ice Fusion and Red Ice Insight in your opening hand, and then you use Red Ice Insight to be able to search this out, you can essentially end up with a Red Ice / Dragon and 2 Red Ice Black Dragons on by turn 3, which is really nice. And even if this card does get destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can still summon a Red Ice monster from your graveyard. So the fact that this card gives you consistent value throughout the game, whether it be just getting a Red Ice each turn, if you control a Red Ice monster, or even just being destroyed and summoning one on its own, it's really nice. Because like that's one of the main things of this deck. You do one thing and it's going to give you some kind of value in the long run of things. That's one of the best ways I like building decks, and that's probably I'm going to always be that way. The extra deck is nothing special. So earlier in the very first incarnations of this build, I was playing the Darksteel Hex Fusion to be able to get things out like Meteor Black Dragon and Black Skull Dragon. But I've since kind of ditched that once we got the second copy of the Structure deck because Red Ice / Dragon just did so much more for the deck. So I kind of just like, you know what, we don't need to do this at this point. So this is irrelevant. This is totally irrelevant. This is irrelevant now as well, unfortunately. This is super irrelevant, but / Dragon, best way to go. Red Ice Black Dragon plus 1 warrior monster. When a Red Ice monster declares an attack and you target 1 warrior type monster in your graveyard, equip it to this effect with this effect. It gains 200 attack, and then when it gets targeted, you can send 1 equip you control to the graveyard and negate the activation if you do destroy that card. And if this card is destroyed by a paddle or graveyard, you can special summon as many monsters from the graveyard as possible that were equipped to this card. So again, usually you don't have a lot of warriors in your graveyard because you're going to usually use it for AD Changer, but if he's still in the graveyard, you can use him for an additional 200, so it's really up to you. Again, I don't really bank on that too much. I'd rather just focus more on cards like Power of the Guardian, but there is another card as well here that actually worked out pretty well in my very first build, but I just kind of took it out after a while. There is a card called Concentrating Current. So there are going to be times where you only have 1 card on the field being Red Ice / Dragon, and this is honestly not a bad card because you could just simply have Red Ice / Dragon gain access to 2400, boosting it up to 52 once you combine the two. So honestly, Concentrating Current could be another card to consider as well. It works really well for the deck as well. But you can, but again, it's ultimately up to you about how you're going to play the deck and what your overall objective for the deck is and what you want to do. But yeah, again, this is actually the first deck that I built when I came back to Duel Links, and I just want to be able to share with you guys on how I feel the deck is, some of the things I've been going with, and also some of the things I'm going to be testing. I am going to try focusing on getting more of the Red Eyes / Dragon family cards like Gear Free, the Red Eyes Knight, Red Eyes with Chain, and of course, anything, the other cards that come down the road. If you did enjoy this video or find it informative when it came with Red Eyes, definitely hit the subscribe button and comment down below what deck you're playing with Duel Links, and if you played Red Eyes, because I'm definitely curious to be able to hear what other people have to say about this deck. Again, this is more of a fun budget build rather than being competitive, but, it's still a pretty fun deck. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Peace.